There is a congressman named Greg Meeks who recently announced that he's supporting Michael Bloomberg in the Democratic primary. Now, Gregory Meeks is a Democrat and he is black. And Bloomberg has been having some issues lately with comments about stop and frisk and black Americans. And so these endorsements from minority members of Congress are really important to Michael Bloomberg being able to continue crafting a narrative that is something other than the vile racist which has been the characterization of Bloomberg over the last couple of weeks. Well, Greg Meeks is helping to craft that narrative. He showed up on CNN. He pulled the tired old, but Bernie isn't a Democrat talking point, which is a lame talking point to start with because it's not about issues. It's just a party membership argument. It's a form of exclusive tribalism, but it's extra hilarious because Bloomberg just changed from being a Republican to being a Democrat. So there's a ton to talk about here. Let's first watch the clip. Notice that Greg Meeks doesn't talk about any policy here, doesn't talk about who's better on healthcare, who's better on economics, nothing. It's just Bernie isn't really a Democrat. Take a look.
The difference for me is Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. So I don't understand why Bernie Sanders, who does not want to become a member of the Democratic Party.
He vowed he would run, and if he wins, reside as a Democrat.
Run as a Democrat. We've asked him on a continuous basis, if in fact you want to be the Democratic nominee, you should be a Democrat. If you're not a Democrat, you should not run. He should run as an independent. He's not a Democrat. So to me, I wouldn't allow a Republican to run as a Democrat or for the Democratic nominee.
You don't think he should be allowed to run in the Democratic Party?
I don't think he should be a Democrat. I think that he should say if he wants to be a Democrat, he should register in the Democratic Party. And then you can talk about running and to be my representative. I want a Democrat to be my representative as President of the United States, to be my nominee.
He's doing it, and he raised a whole lot of money. We'll watch.
We'll see what happens.
Thank you very much, Congressman.
My pleasure.
Okay, so first of all, debate the issues. If you support Bloomberg and not Bernie, argue why Bloomberg is better than Bernie on the issues. What's their position on healthcare, on education, on inequality, on taxation, on foreign, like whatever, just pick a topic and argue why the person you're supporting is better than Bernie, if that's what you want to argue. Repeating, what was it, 4 times there in a minute, that Bernie isn't a Democrat is not an argument. I don't care about tribalism and party. But then it's layer 2, which is if you want to play the party game, Bloomberg was a Democrat until 2001, then became a Republican to run for mayor, then became an independent in 2007 to continue this sort of persona of the independent thinker, and then became a Democrat in 2018, just a year and a half ago, presumably as a pretext for what he is now doing, running for the Democratic presidential nomination. So it's all BS. And the reality is Meeks says, well, Bernie should just switch to being a Democrat now if he was running in the Democratic primary. If Bernie did that, they would say Bernie's pandering. If Bernie Sanders took this guy's advice, said, I am going to become a Democrat. If he did it, then Greg Meeks would be saying, this is pandering. I want a real Democrat, not a guy who switches his nomination, his party registration, just to run for president, which is exactly what the guy he's supporting did, Michael Bloomberg. So it can't win for Bernie on this. Greg Meeks would be the first to say Bernie is only switching to pander. But then because Bernie did not switch party registration, Meeks says, well, he's not really a Democrat. I want to vote for a Democrat. But then the most important thing, again, is that none of this has to do with who's going to be better for you on wages, who's going to be better for you on health care. If a Republican ran with the right policies against Trump, I'd support the Republican. Now, in reality, no one with those socially democratic policies that I support would be a Republican in 2020 United States. But it's besides the point. I don't care about party registration. Note also that Bernie is in the Democratic leadership in the Senate. He's not just some outsider who has no integration with the Democratic Party. So it's a circular firing squad argument. It will never get anywhere. Anyone who makes this argument already shows they don't really care about reason and rationality. And then the problem is anyone who tries to argue with somebody like Greg Meeks about this is also going to fail because it's an unwinnable argument. No matter what, they will say why Bernie is wrong in this particular case. And then zoom out. As of December 2019, Gallup says only 28% of Americans are registered Democrats. So what exactly are you trying to do by saying, if you aren't part of the club, we don't want you, when 72% of the country isn't part of that club and is not aren't registered Democratic voters? It's pointless tribalism, and it doesn't actually deal with the issues, which is what I care about. Tell me what you think about this "BeRNiE's not really a Democrat" meme that is continuing to sort of spread like a virus in some circles. Let me know on Twitter. I am at Pakman. Follow me there. One of our sponsors today is Vincero Watches, giving you 15% off your entire order when you go to davidpakman.com/watch. Don't pay thousands of dollars for a high quality watch that looks great, because you don't have to. All of Vincero's watches are made with high-end materials, masterfully built, and they look like something you'd spend a ton of money on. But every Vincero watch ranges from about $150 to $300. I went over to their website and picked out the Bellwether in silver and white. Really nice, elegant look. It's a chronograph style. Wore it to a gala over the weekend. And a lot of people asked me, where's the watch from? Really, really great look. Totally different. They also sent me the Altitude in matte black and red, a much more rugged view of what a watch can look like. Really like it as well as the athletic strap. It's a new year. It's a new decade. It's time to reestablish your style, add something new to your look, and a high quality watch is the perfect way to do that. You can get 15% off Vincero's entire collection when you go to davidpakman.com/watch.